runs against Herman Talmadge, gets more votes in Atlanta than Herman Talmadge did. So that said something. He had this ability to walk up to you, put his fat hand out there and say, "Hi, I'm Maynard Jackson." And you felt like you were the only person in the world. He had that gaze into your eyes that you said, this man can move heaven and earth. He couldn't move heaven, but he could certainly move earth. Anyway, so he then runs for vice mayor. Now, the politics, the campaigning never stopped from the time he ran against Herman Talmadge. He then ran for vice mayor. He won. So in the city of Atlanta, if you're the vice mayor and the first black man being a vice mayor, you are obviously the black people's what? Mayor. So me there, remember, I'm the community activist. When we got started doing what he was doing, no, we're not going to change our phone numbers. We want our phone numbers to be listed because we want the people to be able to get in touch with us. And we're not going to change the way we live. I'm going to still shop at Sears. I'm not going to some of the more exclusive stores. I don't even remember the name. One was Montaldo's. Where did that name come from? But there was a store in Atlanta called Montaldo's, very exclusive. I went there one time, bought a dress, put it on layaway. I don't know how Maynard figured out that I had done that, but I came home from work that day and there was the dress laying on the bed. So, you know, that's two-sworded sword. That means that he can figure out whatever I'm doing, or else he was being kind and buying the dress. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and figure out that he was doing something nice for me. So those are little tidbits that are going to come out of me as we talk. I hope you don't mind. So, okay, so he's vice mayor. He is president of the city council, but in those days it was called vice mayor. They had just changed the city charter before he took office, changing the government from an automatic board to a city council with a president. With a vice mayor. Now they've gone back to the technique of having a president of the city council, but it was the same job. One of the things that they did to him the minute he took office was try to change the rules so that he could not attend the meetings. If you are the president of the council, you are the ad hoc member of all of the committees, like the Committee on Transportation, the Committee on Finance. The vice mayor can go and vote if the mayor doesn't come, but usually the mayor's not there, so the president of the council comes and votes. So they tried to change the rules. Hi, those are my two grandkids. That's Cassie and Brooke Lee. I saw these little kids walking by and said, I know them. But anyway, so he survives that. There were some very intelligent white members of the city council who helped to stop that attack. But that was his first realization that there is racism in Atlanta city government, as if it's not still there. But nonetheless, he maintained his ability to do those committees. Then they tried to change the whole charter at some point. That my memory of how they changed the same charter, tried to change the charter, is vague. But because I was at home having babies, I told you about Brooke's birth and how we took her to North Carolina. And Maynard's still the vice mayor. And Brooke, your mother, is Brooke here? Oh, there she is. I'm gonna tell a story about her. She had a beautiful smile and used to say these long words. I guess she heard us saying the words, and I had been going around buying paintings for the house, and I bought this painting by Picasso, not a real painting, a print. It was hanging on the wall, and some of our relatives came over, and Brooke walked past the painting and said, Picasso made that picture. And everybody looked at her and said, how did this little 3-year-old learn the word Picasso? Well, I guess it was because I was saying Picasso a lot. So you don't know what your children are picking up from you when you use words. And so the words that you use in front of your children should be loving words, kind words, not curse words, because it's so embarrassing when your child says a curse word and you know that the only place she got it from was from you. How many of us have done that, seen that? My hand goes up too. All right, so now Maynard is vice mayor. He serves in that position for a good little while. I get pregnant again, and the child that comes this time is Buzz. We call him Buzzy, but his name is Maynard Jackson III. He was the one who walked around Atlanta with the long ponytail, but he just cut it. He cut it. And now he looks like the cute little boy with the curls that I used to play with when he was a child. I remember rolling his hair up. His daddy said, "What have you done?" I said, "I wanted the curls to be even, so I thought if I rolled it up, they would be even." All right, so Maynard is mayor, and I am the first lady. Believe it or not, the word first lady just didn't sit right with me. Why? Because I felt like I was putting myself above other folks. And I'm still trying to be anchored in Lewisburg. I'm trying to be anchored in Cabbagetown. I'm trying to be a part of the grassroots community. And so I kind of pushed back on the privileged life. Now, I have to admit that I did like some of the perks, and some of the perks were a free pass to the movies, a free pass to some of the parking lots. We could just drive in and show you a little card and pass. Park. So the life had its good times, and the life had its down times. Not bad times, but downtime for me. Maynard was an excellent mayor. I've never seen a more honest man in my life. Now, if his ex-wife can say that, you know it must be true. We're in Boston. We took the kids with us, and we took my mother, who lived with us. Thank God for my mother. If it had not been my mother living with us, I would not have had a babysitter. So she sat with the children while I went to the nighttime meetings and the this meeting and poured tea at the Girls Scout Club, because I did all of that. I did it with a smile on my face. I tried. Now, so where was I? Oh yeah, best honest person. We went to Boston. We were in Boston standing at a desk, hotel desk. My mother and I, the children, had been in the suite. And of course we used the telephone, and we had room service and all those things. Maynard made me stand in front of that desk and go through the bill and pay for everything on that bill that wasn't city driven. I said, "Can't we just pay the bill and go home and figure it out?" "No, do it now." But that was the kind of person he was. You couldn't find a more squeaky clean mayor than Maynard Jackson. So that's the kind of life we led. It was a trying life for me. Had I been 40 years old, I might have been able to have said, 8 years, this too shall pass. Let me just stay in the driver's seat. But I had an ego, and that's not a crime. As a matter of fact, if I had not had the ego that I had, I probably never would have started first class. I never would have worked with Atlanta Artist Management. I never would have managed bands like Cameo, the SOS band. How many of you all remember Cameo? Remember Word Up? You remember Take Your Time, Do It Right? That was written in my basement. Maynard and I had divorced by that time. It was an amicable divorce, if you can believe that. It's true. It never hit the papers. We worked out all of our differences around the dining room table. And as soon as I told him this, he didn't believe it, but I said, as soon as I can get first class up and moving, you can have your alimony back. And when it got up and moving, I gave him his alimony back. I really wanted to be self-sufficient. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to stand on my own 2 feet. Why? It was a God-given challenge, I suppose, but it also was a God-given gift. I believe that it was. So now, we're divorced, and I'm working in first class, and because I am the first lady, I have these connections. I have connections. I really do, so I really need to start using these connections for my business. But one of the things I soon discovered was that people thought that if they embraced my business and gave me business, they would not be seen in a very good way by the mayor. Far from the truth, far from the truth. Because Maynard was sending me clients. But nonetheless, at that point in my life, a band came to me called Santa Monica. Turned out to be the SOS band. They wrote a song, or at least Sagidi Abdul, who came to live in my basement because the producer sent him there. We were not lovers. He just lived in the basement. Let me make that clear. He wrote the song, Take Your Time, Do It Right. We published the song. The song went straight to the top of the charts and crossed over. Here I am with a hit record and saying to myself, okay, now what do I do? So I signed a contract with a man who was a producer in North Carolina, and he was going to take us on a tour. Well, at that time, the record was going up the charts and exploded, and we got an opportunity to do a show with the Isley Brothers. We were opening for the Isley Brothers. So one of the things that I did know, that if you didn't know what to do, you needed to find someone who did know what to do so they could tell you. And then you needed to listen. So Clarence Avant, who turned out to be the president of Sony Records, or was CBS, was a friend of Maynard's, had contributed to his campaign. I knew Clarence. I called him up. Hey, Clarence, I got this band. He signed them to the record deal. We never shopped the record deal. It was another gift. But it was a gift from God that says, okay, Bunnie, I'm going to take you out of the city of Atlanta for a while. I'm going to give you another place where you can grow. And grow I did. We were making $6,000 a week on the road with the SOS band, long time ago. And then here comes Larry Blackman. You know the man who says, ow, in his songs? Well, with the red card piece, that's Larry. But he could write and produce, different from the SOS band. They didn't write and produce. We were using Jimmy Jam and Terry. But Larry was writing his own stuff, and when you were writing and producing your own material, you own what? The rights and publishing. Publishing. At this point, I decided that, okay, I need to continue to give back. So I found some time on one day of the week and came over to Georgia State University and taught a class in music business management, and was able to teach a lot of young people who were about to sign bad contracts and give away their publishing what to sign. So I taught for about 3 or 4 years at Georgia State, and I taught a course called Music Business Management. The reason I got the job is because they were trying to find somebody with an advanced degree, remember I had an MBA, who could teach at Georgia State, who had some practical experience in the music business. And most of the people they would find did not have an MBA, so I fit the mold. I went to teach. I had forgotten about that little tidbit, but I enjoyed it until the children started asking for A's when they should have gotten D's. And I said to one child who reported me for giving her a C, and I had to prove that she earned the C. I proved that she earned a D. She should have gotten the D. I gave her the C. She asked for the A. Okay, now remember, when I make a mistake, what do? Change. So I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't teach this class and run a first class, and that time I was running Atlanta Artist Management. I didn't have that kind of time. So I only taught for 2 or 3 years, I don't know which. Okay, so the first class agency is doing well. Some of our clients were the Coca-Cola Company. Some of our clients were McDonald's. And of course, City of Atlanta, and I told you about this project that we did. I just use this as an example because I want you to see the extent of the work. The graphic design, we had a graphic designer on retainer, and there were 3 people who worked in the agency, and the rent was about $2,000 a month. After I had been in that role for a while, I'm skipping, I said, okay, you know, it was during the Olympics. I had a contract with ACOG. Was that the name of the company that did the Olympics? And I did a project with the AU Center during that period of my life. But what I decided was to move my business home. I had enough space in the basement. My son had moved out of the basement, had moved to California, so I turned